everybody, FlipAnythingUSA, Tom here. So this is kind of interesting. This is a property I've been watching for years, actually. The guy that I remember talking to, the owner of this thing, he didn't seem too practical, to be honest. And now he's got it listed with an agent, and they're asking too much. But I called the agent again today, and I told the agent, I said, hey, you know what's this? I drove by and the place looks like it's been demolished. Looks like a bomb went off. And I called the agent and I said, hey, what's the deal on that building? I've been watching this for a long time. And he said, oh man, he goes, some drunk. This is like a Midas muffler type of property. It's not a Midas muffler, but it's that type of property. And apparently somebody went in and just drove right through the doors of one, went inside the building, and then drove out through the other metal door and blew them both apart, and scrambled out of there, and the cops chased him down, and anyhow, I guess they got him. But anyways, I'm told I'd come take a look at it again. You know, they're probably exactly double what I think it's worth, or what I would certainly pay for it. But we'll go take a look at it. It's up here, another minute up the road. I've actually done quite a few videos today, but been kind of a busy Friday actually. But this will be interesting. I wanted to get inside this building. They didn't have a key for me last time, and now the doors are completely demolished, so it'll be kind of fun to see. But I guess this guy drove in, like I say, right through one set of metal doors and drove out the other. And but I think this property has some potential. The downsides are it's kind of on the going to work side of the road, and also it's facing a freeway where it used to have like direct shot of the frontage. Well, they've since elevated that freeway, so they're kind of like sailing over it. You can still see it, but the accessibility is a little bit limited, which I don't like. But that high visibility property that's off of major thoroughfares, you got to pay top dollar for that stuff. And it's actually not, I don't have a lot of experience with that stuff. I have some. I mean, I have some really good, well-located stuff on busy stuff, but not really freeway frontage stuff. But I know there's a good market for it. Hey, Pamela. And it's coming up here. You'll see this place, it sneaks up on you. I'm going to let you see from my perspective here, okay? So take a look here. And bam, it's going to just all of a sudden be there on the right, as I remember. It's one of these places that you pass it before you know it. And here we go. It's not even there. I'm thinking it's somewhere else. It's a little bit further up. But it's one of these places, like I say, it's like, where is it? Did I pass it, or is it further ahead of me? I know it's ahead of me, but it's just a property that every time I see it, I've been intrigued by it. Like I said, I talked to the owner before. He didn't seem too practical, but all right. I know it's going to come up after this intersection. I'll show it to you again. Or I'll show it to you for the first time, but this time for reals. Okay. And you can see the traffic is pretty heavy here. So I guess you could say it is on the going home side of the road, at least for some people. Alright. So it's going to pop up here on the right. Hang on, I want to turn you back this way a minute. Golly. And actually, there's a couple properties I've been eyeing here, actually. That one I really like. Alright, bear with me. Bear with me. Alright, now I see it. Alright, here we go. Ready. And here we go. Now you can see there's a vacant lot up here. But, oh yeah, look at that. Look at the front of that place. I'm just going to pull on in so you guys can see it. But yeah, this place is kind of a mess. Wow, look at that. What a disaster. So apparently this guy drove in through that door, and he drove out that door. And you can see what a mess. So let's go take a look and see what kind of damage he did. If you just got in here, Tom here, FlipAnythingUSA. We're bird dogging a property here. We'll see where it goes or doesn't go. I'm gonna cross the yellow tape. But you can see, look at this thing. Just blew right through one door. Let's go on in. It's actually a nice little building. Doesn't look like it has much power though. Huh. Yeah, it's got a little office upstairs. See that? It's got 3 roll-up doors. There's one he didn't drive through. Now you can see the freeway. Now you can't really see it. The video's kind of blown out for you guys because it's not a very good quality camera. Let's see if I can knock that down. Yeah. Anyways, that big bright spot is like a ramp. If you could see behind me, my shoulders at an angle here, that's pretty much a ramp. It's not that ramp that you see behind me. That's the door hanging down, but that's kind of like how it is. It's far off. It's not great visibility, but you can see this is a pretty decent little building. People will see it. People will see this building. So it's got very good visibility. And it's got, this really isn't an office. This is, I mean, if you were, it's got about 6'6" clearance maybe up here for like a little, I wouldn't call it an office. You could probably put air compressors and things like that maybe, if the roof would support it. And there's a little office here. It's got a little glass storefront there, so that's not bad. We're gonna walk around the back. Okay, that is a narrow little drive to come around the backside here. So there really is no good parking back here at all. Might get away with a little bit of paving, a little more. So this is a relatively small lot. Yeah. Yeah, it's not much. It's backed up to a residence. What's next to it isn't particularly pretty. I called on that other property over there. Somebody's going to develop it or not, I'm not sure. Find out a little bit about that. But you can see, if you can see the freeway now, see? Traffic just kind of flies up above, and this kind of goes a little bit unnoticed. There's a lot more traffic going that way right now. That's why I say it's on the going to work side of the road, which is not the best side to be on. You have just a lot more limited uses when you're on the going to work side. So who knows? This may turn into something or not. I don't know. But like I said, this is part of how you find a great deal. Is you look at everything, okay? And once in a while, you know, I could have walked in here and it might look like a gold mine. You know, another one looks like a pit, a money pit. I see. Like I said, they want too much for it. It's pretty much what I thought from the beginning, and that's for sure how it is at this point, but who knows, it may turn into a deal. Eventually, I told the realtor, I said, hey, let me know when this guy softens up. He was hitting me up for an order, or for an offer possibly, and I said, you know what, let's just see if it softens up. I said, that property ain't going anywhere anytime soon. and it won't. But this is what I do, and this is what you should do. When you see a for sale sign, I saw an estate sign actually too on the way to work this morning. I just really didn't want to deal with it. I had enough going on. But again, if I still see it on the way back, I'll probably stop there next. Like I said, when you see an estate sale, usually means, there's a piece of property going to be for sale next. So, anybody got any questions? Anybody got anything going on? I don't know if anybody saw my whiteboard earlier. I was kind of going a little more deeper into the details on contracts and assignments and that sort of thing. If you didn't catch that, if you're curious about assignments, how those work, it's only about an 18-minute video, I think. I can't remember for sure, but I just kind of went into some of the details and about, why title insurance. I'm actually one of the only people I know, I'm the only person I know that's ever had to go file a claim on title with title insurance. A lot of times you just feel like, why are you even buying it? Nobody's ever makes a claim. But it's the very first piece of property I bought when I was 19. And it was 5 years later when I refied the building that I realized, the title companies wouldn't have caused the problem too, to be quite honest. But I did file a claim, and they did come through, and they took care of things. But anyways, that's it. It's Friday. I'm heading to the lake house tomorrow. I got to do a little, I'm actually meeting the cable company out there. The cable has been really terrible, but they upgraded from DSL out there to Uverse, so I can get a lot better deal. Right now, that it kind of disconnects itself, that DSL, so I can't monitor the Ring doorbell. I can't look at any of the video cameras and see what's going on. But it still needs just a little more work. That deck, I'm not so sure about. The deck needs to be rebuilt, and then I can make it a furnished weekly rental. I already got it furnished, as you probably already saw. And while there's still a few warm days left, probably try to enjoy it some. But anyways, that's it, I guess. Unless anybody's got a question or anybody got something to share. But man, just get out there and bird dog. I say when my eyes are open, I'm working, and that's the truth. When my eyes are open, I'm doing what I do best, which is look around. When I see something, or see a for sale sign or see a for lease sign, call even on a for lease sign. For lease sign means the property's empty. It means there's an opportunity for somebody to sell that property. You see a garage sale. Garage sale means sometimes people are selling. They're selling their stuff before they move, whether it's the tenant moving out of the house or the owner of the house moving out. It's an opportunity to possibly buy that piece of property. And like I've told you so many times, the reasons I've made money is because usually I'm the first one there, and half the time I make the money because I'm the second one there. Being second in line, it's a good place to be, because a lot of times the guy that's first in line steps out of the way, and then you move in. So just want to stay on that, because it's finding the deals. That's the tough part, is finding the deals. You got to always know that. It's all about the deal. It's really not much about having money. You can always find the money. The main thing is, when you go to get a deal, when you find a deal, you need to act like you got money, whether you have money or not. You throw up that check, that deposit, you put it up there. You're gonna have a contingency period where you can get out of it if for any reason you find out you made a mistake. But you write that deposit check, let them know you're serious. You sign that purchase contract, and maybe with a 15-day contingency or a 30-day contingency, whatever you got to do to keep the deal and not lose the deal. And now you've got that much time before your deposit's gone, and then you have the entire amount of time of the escrow to go find money. So that's kind of what you'll find out. It's kind of a two-stage process when you don't have a lot of money. You write a check, say, for $500 to buy a $100,000 property, and it's worth $150. So you threw $500 out there, but you've got 20 days to look at it to make sure you're satisfied with the condition of the property. So that's your contingency period. So that's when the clock starts. You sign that, you got signed, you've given them your check. Now you're looking for money, you're looking at the property more closely too. Now you're getting near that 20th day where you go, my money, I'm about to lose my $500. Well, now you get past the contingency period. Now your $500 is gone. So now you've got the remainder of that time. Let's say you had a 45-day escrow, you just spent 15 days of it. you still haven't found a buyer. Now you got 30 more days, and if you don't, you're going to lose your $500. That's simple, okay? But you're not going to tie up that property unless you know what you're doing. And that's why I say you're going to understand what values are. You study the properties, study what values are in your neighborhood. You're not even going to hesitate to write that check. You know, you're going to be nervous writing that check because you're going to be thinking about the $50,000 that you're going to make when you flip it to somebody, or whatever, you know, however you end up, you know, putting a deal together. And that's the mentality you got to have, and that's what you got to do. And so, but like I say, you get past the contingency period, you know, now your money's gone, you've got that much more time. But chances are, if you've done your homework and you're doing it right, you're going to have somebody lined up to buy that property either with you as a partner, or you're going to find maybe a little hard money lender that'll be more than happy to loan you the money to buy that thing, because, you know, if it's a great deal, if you've done your work and it's a great deal, he's not going to mind taking it back from you, you know, if he's got to foreclose or otherwise on you. So it really is, the tough part is finding a deal, and once you get that done, it'll be easy. Then you can, like I said, my first assignment deal was by accident. I went to my old boss looking for money, and he said, Tommy, he said, this is a great deal, and you know, they probably will make $100,000. He goes, but I don't want a partner. He goes, how about I give you $20,000 and I just buy it by myself? And of course, you guys already know, they've been watching me long enough. You know, it's got about that big, and I was like, that's a deal. And I took my $20,000, and it was the easiest $20,000 I ever made, because I didn't have to put a dime out for it. Or maybe I put $500 out to tie it up. Probably did. I don't remember. It's been a while. But on that one. But anyways, that's it for now. And I didn't catch that last question. I know somebody just wrote a question. How do you do something? If you want to write that question again, I'll take a look at it here before I get my next stop. Yeah, I apologize. It went too quick. I didn't see it. All right, I'm hanging out for that other question if you still got it. Otherwise, I'm just going to tell you all to have a great weekend. And, you know, I'm driving by more properties that I own right there. And everyone's got a different story, and everyone was a deal. All right, I'm going to call it quits tonight. And anyways, appreciate you tuning in, and be sure to subscribe, like, and hit that notifications button. There we go. How do you find good contractors? Listen, you got to do that by referrals. I know who good contractors are in here. A, because I am a contractor, so I kind of know, you know, when you know what you're doing, it's not hard to figure out if somebody else does too. But if you don't really know what you're doing in that, if you're not much of a construction type person, you know, you could be a framer, you could be a drywaller, you could be a plumber, you could be an electrician. Yeah. So my point is, if you don't really have much of a construction background, then you're pretty much limited to just purely going by referrals. But I can tell you, if you see any active jobs in your neighborhood, or like where you see a builder building, just pull up there, find out who the plumber is there, talk to him, because usually the guys that are working for the guys that are building new homes, those are good guys. Those are good guys. The fly-by-nights are the guys that work for people randomly, you know what I mean? But the guys that are working for the builders, we're serious. We want good quality people, and you know, we don't mind paying a little bit more. We just want to be number one to them, that they take care of us. But when you have a good plumber like that, those are the guys. Like I say, if you see any new construction, go there, find out who the plumber is there, talk to that guy, talk to the owner, or find out what the company is, call the owner, and say, hey, listen, you know, and you might have a job that's too small for that guy to even want to mess with, but he can at least point you to somebody. You know, every time you find a plumber like that, what'll happen is they can for sure point you to somebody that used to work for them, that probably went out on their own and is still small and struggling, but they're a good, competent plumber. And so basically what I'm saying is, don't trust anybody. Go by referral, talk to people. If you got a guy that says he's a good guy, say, well, Who have you worked for? Let me go look at some of your jobs. And then go look at some of their jobs. You got to do your due diligence, because that's how you get taken. There's a lot of terrible people out there, or terribly untalented, that they, whether ignorance or whatever, they fool themselves that they can do the job, but they can't. And a lot of times also, when somebody needs a deposit, it's not the best sign. It's not the best sign. I mean, a little bit of a deposit, okay, but let me tell you a story. I was a cabinet maker, okay? So for 10 years, just under 10 years, I owned my own cabinet shop. And, I did thousands of houses of cabinets, built a big company, and I sold it. Well, not huge, but pretty big. So this lady that had come to me for cabinets, I was too high. And so she didn't use me. Well, and she didn't use another cabinet guy I know that was actually really good. Well, about 6 months later, her and her husband, she calls me, they come to me, and they go, can you meet us out at our place? Sorry, my service went out here for a second. So what I was going to say is, these people that turned me down to do their job the first time called me back out. They said, hey, can you meet us out here? We hired somebody else. He's made a mess of things. And so I go out there, and he had ordered his doors. Sometimes cabinet makers have other people make their doors. There's a lot to making doors. Moisture content, avoids warpage, all kinds of stuff. Anyways, this guy built their cabinets, and even the doors he ordered didn't really fit right, so it was going to be a huge loss. There's $10,000 worth of doors there. Anyways, the doors were on the floor, and I thought, well, that looks kind of tall. And I lean up this cabinet door that's on the ground, and I lean it up kind of fast. It was longer than I thought. It actually, when I leaned it up, it hit the ceiling. The cabinet door was taller than the ceiling height in the house. That door, I don't even know what the hell he was thinking. I mean, it was taller than the cabinets. That's how bad a cabinet maker he was. And I go, oh my God. And then the lady just started crying because she knew she made a mistake. And so in the end, I didn't even do the job. Somebody else did it that I referred to. I referred them to a good cabinet guy that could deal with it. I didn't want to. And he took care of them. But so anyhow, you got to go by referrals. Otherwise, you might get somebody terrible like she did. You just really got to do your due diligence and don't trust anybody. I one time, this here another thing, I met a guy in the line at an electric equipment supply place, and a nice guy, seemed good, and I said, I just need a couple things done. He said, I can do it. And I go, well, you know what, you're in line, you're here, yeah, come on over, man, I want to get this done. He didn't understand what three-phase electricity is. Well, when you have three-phase electricity, you have 110, 110, and 220. No, I wouldn't suggest that. I mean, you can go on the internet and I guess take a home repair class by just looking online. That's the question was, would I recommend taking a home repair class? Not really. You can't download a trade. If we could just download the information, it'd be great. I'd be a musician right now, but it doesn't work that way. So anyways, back to my story. I hired an electrician that I didn't vet out very well at all. And he didn't understand that I had three-phase, but he thought he did. Well, three-phase is 110, 110, 220 on one leg. So when he started moving breakers around, he ended up shifting them over where he put 220 to all my fluorescent lights. Flip on the lights, and all of a sudden the lights are on, and then they're pop, pop, pop. They're going out. They're just burning out, and the place starts to smell. He blew out probably 12, 13 lights in my little shop. Now I was totally in the dark practically in that section of the shop, and I probably spent another $1,000 hiring somebody good to fix what he screwed up without even bothering with the problem that I originally had him come to mess with. So anyways, yeah, you got to have referrals. You got to have referrals by credible people and people that have hired somebody to really find somebody good. Just don't ever take the person's word for it that's trying to sell them. So yeah, so back to the other question, would I recommend taking, I mean, it doesn't hurt to, really, you learn a trade, and then you learn to read the tape, and you kind of get you get a feeling for dimensions and, the importance of things being square and plumb as a carpenter, and, you can use that knowledge. It extends to other things that other trades are doing, And you know, just by being on the jobs, when you've been on a lot of jobs all the time, just kind of by osmosis, you kind of see what people are doing, and you understand what a plumber's supposed to do, and you know, you learn about, you know, fall on pipes and different things. And so you know, I don't think it's a bad idea if you want to do something specifically. I know a guy that he wired his own 3-way switches, meaning, you know, so you could turn the lights off in the same room at different points, and he just went online and you know, read up on it, and he wired his own place, and everything worked fine. You can do that, but you know, there's you know, like if you don't know how to use a saw, like, you know, I pick up a circular saw and I can cut a lot of stuff and do a lot of stuff very fast. Most people pick up a circular saw, they're terrified. It is a terrifying piece of equipment because it can really do a lot of damage to a body, and so you shouldn't really be playing with saws unless you know what you're doing, and that's something you really learn, you know, as an apprentice. And then that's kind of how you learn, you know, by working with people that know what they're doing, that take time to show you how to hold. You know, I actually cut this thumb off. You can see that thumb? See how it's short? That was on a table saw. I cut my thumb off. It went through the saw this way, but it cut my thumb off through the thumbnail. And anyways, it was a good lesson. What's funny is I bought I just got into Guitar Center the night before, and I just bought a Les Paul, no, that wasn't Les Paul, it was a Fender Stratocaster, and I was going to learn how to play guitar. Well, the next day, I cut my thumb off, or most of my thumb off. They put it back together. I lost a blade width, and sewed it back together, and I had to keep my thumb over my head for like the next, I don't know, 6-8 weeks. It was a miserable time. My girlfriend broke up with me. I have to keep my thumb above my head because it's turning black. It looks like it's going to fall off, and it was a miserable time. But anyways, that was using a saw when I wasn't quite, you know, I was tired, I was working a lot of overtime, but you know what, I wouldn't make the same mistake again that I did that day. But I'm lucky I still got most of a thumb on that side. But so anyways, that's it for now. Is there any other questions? Did I miss anybody else's question? I can't scroll back when I have on a phone like this. There's nothing, at least I don't know how. But if you got another question, I'll take it right now. Otherwise, I'm just going to say have a happy Friday, and you know, maybe we'll come back on over the weekend. Pamela, did you ask a question? All right. So, hey, Flip Anything USA, thanks for tuning in, and you know, just please share and subscribe, and those thumbs up help me rate higher, get better SEO with YouTube. So if you can do that, be sure, if you haven't got my app, be sure to sign up for it, or sign up for it. The Android version is going to go out first, or maybe they'll both go out at the same time. Still haven't quite hit 1,000 people signing up for the Android. Be sure to sign up. Just write me at Tom@FlipAnythingUSA, Tom@FlipAnythingUSA.com, and just put in the subject line iPhone or write Android, then I know what your operating system is. And if you got any questions, feel free to comment too, and I'll certainly reply, and you'll be one of the first to get this app. You're gonna love it. So that's it for now. Thanks.